India's a shithole. I will never go there. Okay, I gotta tell you something. Let me speak from the heart for a second. All right. I know a lot of you guys, they think so horribly about India. I mean, a lot of you guys, you spend a lot of time on Instagram, and I'm sure, I mean, you've seen these videos, right, of Indian slums, of them, throwing cow trash or cow shit all over the place. Now, all of that is true, but I want to give you another perspective because I've traveled to India a lot, right? I have family there as well. And I have been to the big cities and I have been to the countryside. I have been to villages and all that kind of stuff. And let me tell you, there is no country like India. Now, a lot of these things, they also apply to the negative things, right? You have the biggest slums, you have the dirtiest streets, you see trash everywhere. That is one big part of India. But this is also what everybody talks about, right? I mean, it makes sense. It's social media, it's YouTube. That's what gets you clicks. Now, there is also something to be said about the Indian mentality. I've made a video about this on my vlog channel, and this is a big problem. But now I want to talk about some things that nobody talks about. I grew up in the West, okay? I grew up with Western standards, and I have traveled to India. I've been to a lot of countries in the world, and there is no country in the world that is so diverse, right? Even if you talk about nature, right? You have mountains, you have deserts, you have tropical areas, right? A lot of things like this. And, the United States is great as well. I mean, most of you are from the US, but everywhere you go in the US, somewhat similar, right? There is not a big difference in culture. Everything is industrialized, and this is not the case in India. Like if you compare Mumbai, right, or even Delhi, which I hate Delhi. Most people actually they don't like Delhi. The air is horrible, right? People are born with cancer because of the air pollution. And Mumbai is not as bad. I love Mumbai. I'll talk about this in a second. But you have the big cities. Then you go to Rajasthan. You have deserts. You have old cities, old temples. Then you go to the south, right? A lot of Christians there. You have a lot of, churches. Even when you go to Goa, it doesn't count as south, but it's practically south. You have a lot of Portuguese churches, right, from the colony. And then you go to the northeast. You have plenty of villages, a lot of Christians there, where it's basically you don't even think that you're in India, right? Because what you think of India, that's mostly the big cities. It's not the landscape, it's not the rivers, the mountains, it's the slums and it's the big polluted and overpopulated cities. If you go to the northeast, it's the exact opposite of that, right? You have small little towns like in Meghalaya where I was. You can also look at my vlog channel. I don't like to talk too much about my vlog channel, but it's just a testimony of my own experience, right? If you go to Meghalaya, the capital city has 250,000 people. And that is nothing compared to Delhi, where I think they have 40 million people or 30 million people, whereas Mumbai has 20 million people, but still, it's a completely different country, is what you think, right? It's only the same currency and the same nationality that the people hold there. But it's a different language, it's a different vibe, different religion, all of these things combined. Now, think about this. The problem with India in this specific case is that there is no infrastructure in the countryside, right? It's very hard for people to get around. That's why everybody goes into the cities. That's why the cities are so populated, right? And another big thing is also, and you also see this in Europe, in the US, or in the Western states, is that there is a big discrepancy, right, of wealth. So you have very rich people and you have very poor people. And this is the case now. This is getting worse and worse in the West as well. And you also have that in India. That is true. But nevertheless, if you would go to a city like Mumbai and you would even live there, because I spent a lot of time in Mumbai. Like I have so many friends there, I have family there. And I'm telling you, you just don't know anything. Mumbai, even though the biggest slum in India is in Mumbai, even though people mostly are poor in Mumbai, you just don't know what you're talking about. Mumbai is one of the greatest cities that I've ever been to, and I've been to lots and lots and lots of cities in the world, right? In all the continents. And what you have in Mumbai, it's a very interesting case, right? You obviously have the super super wealthy, right? If you look at Mamdani, he lives in a private skyscraper, right? And then on the other side you have the slums. But there is no city in the world that is so interesting. Now, if you go to Mumbai, right, there are a lot of young people as well, a lot of students that you can go out with. You can have a lot of fun with them, and there are so many ambitious people in Mumbai. Whatever you want to do in life, whether you're a photographer, whether you're in IT, whatever you want to do, people like that are in Mumbai ready to connect. You can build something in Mumbai. And this is what nobody talks about. Everybody just talks about the poverty and the pollution. As I said, this is all prevalent. This is all very important to talk about. But it would be sad for you to just skip India if you want to travel to different places. It would be very unfortunate because you would miss out on so much. Like, one of the greatest people, one of the best friends that I have, they all live in Mumbai. We go out to the crazy clubs, right? Crazy clubs, crazy venues that it's very hard to find in Europe. Also, I live in Paris, as some of you know. In Paris, it's much harder to get into the high-end clubs, right? I've been to those places like the l'Arc and these kinds of places. I've been there. But they are so exclusive that it doesn't even feel human anymore, right? I've been there, and then there were people dancing because I was invited into a section. People dancing on the dance floor, looking up to you like I don't know, they're idolizing you just because of the position that you're in. You have that in Mumbai as well, but not as bad as in Paris, I gotta say. People mingle around there because most of the people are students, and it's much easier to get into into these venues as a normal person, just like me, as a normal person, where you can connect with other kinds of people who are more successful, who are more ambitious than you are. And this is something very special about Mumbai. You also don't have that to this extent in Delhi, right? So Mumbai is a very special city. And so if you think about it, right, you have the country, India. So you are in Mumbai. And then it's so easy to travel to other parts of the country. Like, a visa for 5 years costs like $100. So you go there, you stay in Mumbai, you make so many friends, a lot of international friends as well, who are involved in so many endeavors, be it career or be it something personal or whatever. You also have more and more expats coming there. So if you go to India and you do it the right way, you connect with the right people, even in Mumbai, you can have such a high quality of life, right? You stay in Mumbai and then you go to the northeast, you go to the Himalayas, you go to the south of India. There is so much you will miss out on if you just skip India due to the Instagram posts or the YouTube videos like Tyler Oliveira, right? If you only focus on these things, you will never be able to enjoy the world in general. And I understand that, right? I get it. I mean, this is probably the first time you're hearing somebody from the West talk like great about India, great about Mumbai. And a lot of people, they're going to say, yeah, you're only saying that because you are Indian yourself. Listen, I've been really, really critical of India. And this is still a position that I hold because I see the good things of India, right? I've experienced them. I have so many great memories. Like, the people are so nice. Even when I went to the biggest slum in India, it was so easy to connect to people. It was so easy to, have that human connection where I got invited into the houses of the people living in the slum. You don't have that elsewhere. You don't have that in Paris, right? Where I live, as I said. And so this is what I'm telling you. Don't skip India. If you need any advice, you can join my community. I can give you a guidance as well.